Hello everyone, welcome to the today's session. In this session, we are going to learn about the very important principle of the object-oriented programming, that is encapsulation. I will be taking one real-world example to explain this topic. So we'll implement that example. Yeah, let's start with the what is encapsulation. So encapsulation is the mechanism of wrapping the data or binding the data fields and properties and behaviors into a single unit that is called class and restricting the direct access to some of the object's component. That means no one should directly access the data, no one should directly modify the data. So the fields are made private, so that those fields cannot be modified directly, cannot be accessed directly, and we will be see what is getters and setters in this encapsulation. Yeah, let's start with the implementation here. So initially, I will be having one class. I will be creating one class here, that is bank account class. Bank account class. So this class is having account holder name, and this class is having balance, right? So these are the two things, eh, primarily every bank account should be having. um, So next I will be writing here, right? What I can write. Let me write public. Yeah, let me write the constructor here. That is bank account to initialize my fields here, right? So name dot. So I will be taking name string name from the constructor. That is string name double balance, and I will be initializing this to the my fields. Sorry, actually I made a mistake here. This should be here. This dot name, I will be initializing the fields here. This dot balance is equal to, yeah, I will be initialize them. So I just want to print this data. Public void get name. That means it should be written the name of the bank holder name, right? um Return name, right? So let's write another thing. String, not string, double get balance. So this will return the balance of the account. So let me create one of the object of this class, that is bank account object is equal to new bank account, right? um I have to pass the data here, that is name ram, and the amount should be, let's say 200, right? So I have a bank account that is having name and balance, and yeah, and there is a test class. I have created an object of this bank account class. Let me get the name of the bank account holder name. So you would definitely get a name here. Sorry, I need to run the current file here. Okay. So we will get ram, right? So this is how we can access the fields from here. So another way of doing initializing these variables is that what I can do is that without constructor, what I can do, I can directly create an object. So one of the way of object dot, I can modify the initialize the fields like this. So this is one way of what I can say, set the fields, right? We can directly setting these fields. So this is also give the same result here. You can see name, right? Okay, sorry, I can, yeah, name. So I want to keep here ram. We can get the name. This is how we can directly modify the data of the bank account details here. What if I can keep this private field here? So we cannot modify this because you can see we are getting error here. We cannot directly modify. We should definitely have any method to modify this data. So the private fields are only accessed inside this class. You cannot access outside of the class. You cannot modify or cannot at least read the data from outside. So to solve this problem, we will be having some method to any public method that can set my data. Set name. You can see that I just want to. This is void function that will be set my name. Name is equal to, yeah, it will be taking the string name from the outside class, from outside, right? So this is how we can set the private fields from the outside of the class. So this is how we can restricting the resources of the fields from the using the private keyword here. Let me erase this out. You can do this object dot set name. You can see that now we can set the name. The name is private field, but we can set using this setter here. So, so now you can access that name now. We don't have any error here. You can see. So let's run this program. We're getting null because we are not okay. We use this keyword to currently indicating the current instance of this object. Right, we will get RAM now. So this is how we can actually restricting the direct access and direct modification of the data in the bank account details. So these fields are private, right? So we directly cannot modify or access these fields from the test class. So what we are doing is we are simply creating one of the public methods to set the data. So let's you can see that this is not a we cannot access the balance from the bank account because balance is marked as private. So what we can do is that we can simply we just first we need to set the balance here. So let me do that one. Public void set balance, right? So this is how, yeah, it will be taking double value. Let me do this one. Just set the balance here. Let me see. I think we are doing some mistake. Okay, you just need to give the type of balance. Okay, we set balance and we set the name here. We just want to get the we just want to read the data here. So let what if I can we read the data directly? Let's see. So I just want to read the data directly without any method. I just want to directly I want to access the field from there. That I just want to print the object dot name. So you can see that we cannot access the fields because you can see this name is marked as private. So you need a method that can return the name. So the method should be public so that I can access in the other classes. Let me do that one. Public get, yeah, it will be returning the name is string get name, right? Return, yeah, I'm already having this one. Let me, okay, let's remove this one. So you can see this is the method which we can return, will get the name of the person. And similarly we'll be doing for the double here, get balance, right? Return balance. Yeah, I think we're getting one problem. Yeah, so you can see that now we can see we didn't cannot access the fields from directly from the class. So that means the name is marked as private. So we can actually access with the methods here. We will be having public methods that we can access outside of the class. So I will call this method, I will get the name, I will call this method, I will get the balance. So let me do that, get name here. So we will get that name. Before getting the name, I just want to set the name here. Object dot set name here. So set name will be take the string parameter. I will putting ram here. So when I will run this program, you can see that so I got the ram here. So so what we achieved in this, so you can see that initially we will directly able to modify the data. We can directly modify the we directly will set the fields of the bank account. So this is not a good practice. So you can see that using the private access modifiers, you cannot access directly modify directly access these fields from outside of the class. So we got the setters and getters here to deal with this all the private fields here. So this is how we can say that we are restricting the resources here. So there is another uses of the encapsulation. Let's say if I want to deposit the money in this bank account, let me do write one of the, okay, I just want to add the amount into my balance. Let me write one function, public void deposit. It will be taking double amount, right? So I just want to add this my balance plus is equal to into my I want to add this amount into my balance. So what is the different fail cases that you can see here, that using this object I don't have any set name, set balance. Okay, I can have a method that deposit here. So I just want to deposit amount of 100. So this is fine because 100 amount is a valid amount. So we can actually add this amount into my balance. So there might be some cases that user unfortunately got entered the amount as negative here. So this is not a valid amount, right? You can see that this is not a valid amount. You can say negative. So what we can do using this deposit, in this deposit, what you can do one thing, that if my amount is greater than 0, then only add into my balance. Otherwise, don't add. So this is how one thing we can um, validate the data inside these methods. So there might be the cases like user is passing amount 0, right? There might be cases the user is passing minus 200. So these are the simple validations we can achieve using the encapsulation here, right? This is the what actually the example is. Let's move to the slides here. What why we need the encapsulation? So data hiding. So we saw that the data which is sensitive data, like when we dealing with the bank account, we will be having a lot of things like bank account number, IFSC codes, and the amount which cannot be directly accessed by someone. So it should be marked as private. And control access, set validation rules in setters. Yeah, controlled access means set validation rules in setter. I just shown you that there might be the cases that user might pass the amount as negative amount. So what we are simply doing, we are simply validating this amount, right? So if amount is greater than 0, then only we are adding this amount to balance. Otherwise we are not adding because that is invalid amount. So this is how we can achieving the validations also. Internal representation can change without affecting outside class. Yes, there is a there is a code maintenance also. Is very easy to maintain the code because you know we are simply writing a simple condition when we are depositing it. Yeah, security is the first thing which we can learn from this one. So this is all about the what is encapsulation is. So we saw using the bank account how we can actually directly modify data without if it is not marked as private, we can directly modify or set the names. If we having the private, the fields are private, then we can say that it's definitely cannot modify directly, cannot set. This is how we can actually say that this is a binding or encapsulating the complete fields into a single unit. Single unit means that is a single class, that is bank account class. So this is all about the encapsulation. Thank you.